Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is calling for what he describes as some quick punitive action targeted at perpetrators of infringements against media practitioners. Now, according to the government appointee, it will be the strongest message to the next batch of state and non-state actors. That is, it is not acceptable to attack journalists no matter how much you disagree with what they say. Now, Ghana currently, as we speak, has dropped 30 places in the World Press Freedom Index ranking, prompting a response from the Information Ministry on the measures to be taken. Meanwhile, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is asking the judiciary to punish with speed and severely perpetrators of attacks against journalists. He was speaking at the opening ceremony of a training workshop for judges on the need to protect the freedom and expression, as well as to deal with matters of the safety of journalists.
Yes, the wheels of justice may grind slowly, but the feedback I have from my media colleagues is that we believe some quick punitive action targeted at the perpetrators of infringements against media practitioners will be appreciated. It will be the strongest message to the next batch of state and non-state actors who may even contemplate attacking a media practitioner in the line of his work, that it is not acceptable, and more importantly, the court will severely punish you if you dare. It will be a message stronger than any admonition that anybody can give. If we want these acts, which frankly are a disgrace and an embarrassment to our democracy, to stop, please punish these acts with speed, regardless of who commits them.
Well, so let's explore some of the matters. Joining me now is Erastus Asare-Donko. He's one of our colleagues here at Multimedia. Obviously, has been at the receiving end of all of this in terms of media attacks and all of that. So, Erastus, I'm sure that you've been listening to the minister make a lot of points, also now calling on the judiciary to try and play some roles in ensuring a coordinated safety mechanism for journalists across the country. Are you impressed about such a call anyway?
I like the tone of the minister's admonition. It sounds good to the ear, but you ask yourself, what happened to those who made certain infractions in that line previously? What has happened so far? Is it just words, or it is backed by action, a commitment from the presidency down to his ministers? In fact, in my case, for example, you have a whole chairman of a committee that oversees security in Parliament threatening my life and that of my family and asking people to beat me up. Until now, he has not had the courage or the dignity to come out and say, I'm sorry, even after a committee set up by government itself exonerated me and in fact said that whatever I gave in front of the committee was true, and indeed it did help unravel what happened in my line of duty at the JA. He has not had the respect for me to come up and say, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, and even the police as well, to even as we filed a criminal case against him, to even give us information as to whether he has indeed been invited. Nothing at all until now. And so you look at other cases, Ahmed Swale, for example, sluggish investigations, nothing showing. You look at my own colleague who was beaten by the police. Until now, you've not had any concrete step being taken against it. No release from government in that direction. Then you ask yourself whether this is just words, not backed by action.
For you, where are we missing that link? Is it about trying to get the judiciary to understand the need to expedite prosecution, or it's much more about the government commitment side, which is also lacking?
In fact, the judiciary is there. They have a duty to discharge, but then it's just like going to a hospital and having a doctor prescribe medicine, and that is what the pharmacist will give you. If cases have not been brought before the judiciary there will not be any adjudication in that direction for them to discharge their duty. It starts from somewhere. Are the necessary agencies interested in taking the right steps? In the case of Ahmed Suale, are the necessary agencies interested, full of action to really pursue this to the latter, bring concrete evidence, pursue the case before the judge will do their duty of examining the evidence before them and taking action? Has the government itself, the president, shown any sort of action to say that, yes, I'm coming up boldly to make a statement, just like the information minister has said, which of course is pleasant to the ears? Can the president do so publicly for people to take it more seriously? I think that, yes, his statement is welcoming, but we need more. We need state actors, we need the president himself to come out and condemn some of these things, and let's see some action from state agencies in investigating some of these infractions and bringing to bear justice. That will mean a lot towards the safety of journalists as we discharge our duties.
Well, going exactly by what it is that the Ministry of Information put out after the latest press rankings, it appears that they indicated very clearly that there was going to be a coordinated mechanism trying to rope in some other state actors and agencies in dealing with the matters. For you, is this a walk of the talk that we've seen? You claim that it's just about the talk, but at least we're seeing some step here from the minister, isn't it?
So I must say it's early days yet. He has come out to make a statement. I welcome that statement. Like I said, it is pleasant to the ears. Let's see in the coming days, weeks and months, whether this will be backed by action on the part of state agencies, whether his office especially will push that some of these cases be dealt with, so that we'll have more confidence in the fact that government is also pushing for the safety of journalists in discharging.
And I'm just wondering if personally as a journalist, anything has changed for you in terms of the atmosphere after we saw the release of the press ranking, downgrading us by some 30 in index points. Would you say that something significant has changed in the atmosphere and probably from how state actors collaborate and deal with the media ever since the report was released?
Well, I think it sent a very strong signal out there that things are not really good. You know, some of these rankings have negative repercussions for the image of the country and the discharge of our duties abroad and all that. And so, yes, it sent a very strong signal out there that, hey, it's time we sit up. And you find some people sitting up in certain areas, the reaction towards journalists, yes, some difference there. But I think that lessons can be learned from this. If this is not good for us, can the government come up more strongly, show commitment to the safety of journalists? Can we go back, deal with cases that have happened, use it as a yardstick to serve a strong warning to people out there that allow the journalists to do their job? In fact, there are laws in this country. If a journalist has done something wrong, there are certain lines you need to follow to be able to have redress to your case. And I think these are the things government needs to come out more strongly to back some of these statements with a lot of action, so that we will be able to see that indeed we're getting
we're being heavy on government. How about our own grouping, the GJA? One fine opportunity is presenting itself again through probably at this weekend, where we understand that, of course, we'll have the opportunity to vote for leadership of the Ghana Journalists Association. Many of them we have seen, some who are promising to tackle this issue of the continuous attack on the press. Is that another way of trying to mount pressure and getting some results in creating a peaceful and safe atmosphere for journalists?
In fact, I have heard some interesting things in that direction from some of the candidates. Yesterday I heard from Gerhard Mensah, who spoke to some journalists in Kumasi. He has fantastic ideas about what he wants to do in pushing and advocating for safety
right.
of journalists and all that. So I think it's one area that candidates can also focus on. We need to hear more from the DGA, not just the usual rhetoric, come up with press statements and then we leave it there. But how do we go ahead, advocate for safety for journalists in this country?
Erastus, thank you.